Hello and welcome to Brubacher and Beyond Podcast, where we are shaping the world we live in, so more people can find the construction industry uncommonly refreshing. Hello and welcome to podcast number 37 of Brubacher and Beyond. This is actually a Brubacher internal podcast, and today with us we have the utilities division, and sitting across from me, not standing, but sitting across from me is Steve. Steve, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Steve Luckenbill. I'm the Utilities General Manager at Brubacher. Started here a little over 15 years ago as a vac truck laborer and worked my way up through the ranks, building my own career and investing and being invested in within the company.
Gotcha. 15 years ago, what were you doing before Brubacher?
I had my own business as a utility line locator.
Okay.
As a subcontractor for Comcast.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you came to Brubacher 15 years ago in the vac truck laborer.
Yes.
And then from there, did you go from vac truck laborer to vac truck operator?
Yes. So I went to a vac truck operator. Then from there, I moved into the directional drilling crew as a laborer, learned how to run the directional drill, actually became the superintendent of that department at the time, went into pipe supervision for our utilities crews, basically installing water main, gas main, sewer main. Showed initiative and kept moving up. And
then 15 years from then, we're here today. And I would just like to say to everybody in the construction, I mean, if you're not in the construction world, there is room for opportunity, right? It's not it's not like your path is set by somebody else. You can set your path in the construction industry. And next to Steve, we have Mark. Mark, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Mark. I am the utilities superintendent. I've been with Brubacher for 8 years. Started as a pipe layer, worked my way up to a pipe supervisor, and currently the superintendent.
So 8 years ago was brand new to the construction industry, or what were you doing before Brubacher?
No, I was actually another supervisor for a different company doing water utility work and did some work at the steel mill.
So next to Mark, we have Shawn.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Shawn. How
Hey, Shawn.
Today?
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks again, Chris, AJ, for having us. My name is Shawn Blanchard, and I project manage estimate here at Brubacher. My role primarily is a mix of planning, coordination, and problem solving, which I thoroughly enjoy. I've been here working at Brubacher now for 17 years. I started my career here as a pipe layer. I spent a little time in takeoff supporting estimating, and then also stepped into a pipe supervisor role prior to moving into this current role of project manager estimator.
And so to take us, when you started here 17 years ago, what was your first role?
It would have been a pipe layer I was hired on as.
And then how long were you at?
As a pipe layer?
Yeah.
I'd say approximately 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
4 or 5 years.
4 years, if I were to guess.
Yeah.
At the top, there was some time mixed in there with takeoff and estimating. And then 3 to 4 years as a pipe supervisor, and currently now sitting at 7th year, I think, in the current role as project manager estimator here with utilities.
And so when we say utilities, for the people out there, so our utilities is a division inside of Brubacher, right? So some people look at Brubacher as one company. That is correct. And then when you look a little bit deeper, I would say then you see different divisions. And utilities is a division, just like land clearing is a division, just like paving is a division. So can you give us a little bit of background of this division? Like, how large are you? What kind of work do you do?
We currently have 38 field employees, the current new hires that we just acquired. We do anything from water services to water mains from 3/4 inch all the way up to 24 inch. We do sewer repairs, whether it's an emergency, current failure in an infrastructure system, to new installation for new development or new municipality wanting to extend their existing services. As far as the gas work goes, we currently have a project up in Palmerton where we're renewing services to 27 homes and putting in a brand new main system for them up there. As far as background on that, I mean, that pretty much.
So, Mark, what are some of the things that we do for safety? Can you just go through it at a high level for us?
Yeah, so safety starts with the first day of orientation. You'll go through 2-3 days of orientations with each department, basically. Figure out the roles of how Brubacher works. And then when you get out to your job for the first day, usually the crew is very willing and able to help you deal with all the problems that you would have, or just the concerns of if you were never in this industry before.
So we try to be the brother's keeper, right? And so when you're with a crew, how large is a crew, Mark? It could be
anywhere between 5 to 10 guys. It depends on what we're doing.
Yeah. So with those 5 to 10 guys, how many people would be new on the crew or just starting in the industry, you think?
Usually one. You usually have 1 or 2.
Okay.
Most of the guys are pretty veterans, and they've been around the utilities before that we would hire, or they came from, so they have some kind of knowledge. But yeah, usually each crew would have, I would say, maybe one crew guy that might not be so familiar with it.
And so if someone is interested in becoming an employee at Brubacher or in the industry, what kind of things do we provide in the safety realm, or what should someone be bringing their own safety stuff for the first day of work?
Basically, we supply all the proper PPE minus your steel-toed boots, your safety culture, which everybody should be safe.
Yeah, Kristen, just to add off of what Mark had communicated there with the safety. As you know, utilities, working in the road, there's a lot of existing utilities, so our organization staffed and ready and helps to verify locations of those utilities by means of vacuum excavation, and we're using that more than ever than in the past, and it's been a real game changer for identifying and exposing utilities safely.
So not only do we do our 811 call and we have it marked out by a company that does the markings, but then we will go and use our vac excavation to put eyes on the utility that's supposed to be there.
That's correct. Locate, identify depth, the makeup.
Because
size.
Utilities where they're marked always are where they're at, right, Shawn? There's never an issue there. Yeah.
Great laugh.
So while we're down this road, what is some of the utilities that you have come across that were not marked, or
what kind
were
of
marked but weren't there, or
like surprises, basically?
How does that happen?
Oh, it happens pretty easily.
Does it happen often? I mean, as a part of
Yes, I would say almost a daily basis. So the vac truck usually helps us out to communicate and clean up what is actually marked and what's unmarked.
Okay.
If you do the full tolerance of the mark out, in a sense, usually you find other unknowns. So once you find that, you can kind of go from there. And
so then the steps that we take at Brubacher, first we'll have the 811 call, and then a company will come out and mark the road up of where those other utilities are.
Let's just take a step back. 811 will be contacted. A complex projects meeting will be had to where the utility owners have a chance to meet prior to project startup to go over schedule, duration, plan of attack, and then they will. Then the tickets will be placed in. Their utility locators will then come and place marks within the work zone that we've established.
Gotcha. And then the vac truck would go out, perform, and then is that usually, how far is the vac truck ahead of the crews?
It could be anywhere from a day right on them, or they could be a couple weeks ahead, Depends on how many locates are.
All that.
Okay.
Each job is different.
The density of the project, working in a city environment versus a rural countryside community, would dictate how many utilities may or may not be present.
So how long has Brubacher been doing that process for with the vac truck?
Well, that's what I started doing here when I got hired a little over 15 years ago, and they had 2 trucks at that time. So I don't know, Shawn, you were here a little bit longer than me. You know when they got their first vac truck?
That I do not know. I would have to safely say right around the time of your arrival, not much before. I'm knowing that I've been here within the organization for approximately 17 years, and starting within my first year of utility work, that times out to be right.
Okay. So then after the vac truck goes, what's the next step in the project?
Usually you get saw cutting done. Sometimes you'll zip the trench, which is basically a milling machine that rips through 2.5 foot wide for you to install pipe. After that, usually we're starting to dig. The utilities are located, so it's go time. Start putting pipe in the ground.
And then we dig, put the pipe in the ground, backfill it, inspect it. Chlorination test is done, testing of pressure, chlorination test. And then when does it get hooked up from the new main to the current houses? Like, how does that work?
So after chlorination and your pressure test is done, the crews will come back in. They'll dig up the new line they just installed. They'll also dig up the old line where the current connection is connected at, and they'll do a transfer. Along with that transfer, they're using tools like grounding kits, amp meter readers, just to verify, keep our crews safe. Some lines, houses that were installed mid-1970s era, sometimes have straight current. And straight current is when they ground their electrical box to the copper line coming in through the house. They use that water service as a ground.
Okay.
So therefore, if you're not following proper safety procedures, you can cause an electric shock when you cut that copper line because you're cutting a live ground. And
so then, I mean, I guess you can't go in and fix everybody's electrical grounds or change that. So then what do we do in those processes? We identify that there's a current coming through it.
Once the line is excavated, they will hook up their amp meter, test it. If they get a hot reading, they will proceed forward with the grounding clamps on to bridge the gap for when you cut it. But they will also have on proper PPE, which is electric gloves rated up to 50,000 volts, rubber boots, and go from there.
So that's there's a lot of, I guess, safeties there and a lot of protocols. How do we train the crews, or there's definitely been an evolution of the efficiencies of the crews, and I'm sure maybe at one time we didn't check for current in the wires, or maybe we always did. I don't know. But how does the implementation of new safety things happen, and how do crews deal with that?
Shawn, you want to take this one?
I was just going to chime in just to lead off with sometimes the others have passed on instances and of learned areas where additional safety measures are to be taken. Mm-hmm. How information could be passed to others that we've integrated or implemented with our safety culture, and then other times it's a lessons learned on our end. Of course, we do a lot of pre-planning and forethought with means and methods, but along the way, if a lesson had been learned or has been learned, we definitely take the appropriate discussion, internal measures here to make sure that any cultural changes in regards to safety the initiative is being had there to move forward safely, efficiently.
Say I am somebody new in the industry. What can I expect my first day in the field to be at Brubacher? How do we start the day?
So you'll start the day off meeting at the staging area. From there, you will meet the crew, the supervisor. The supervisor will give a JSA, the job safety analysis for the day. He's going to go over all the hazards. He's going to introduce you to the team, basically lay out every hazard that could possibly happen to you. They should be going over and you should be aware of. He's going to go over things like blind spot monitoring, where your equipment cannot see you. He's going to go over things like working in traffic, keep your eyes, on a swivel, keep your head on a swivel. He's going to inform you that, we're a team and that we have each other's back. So if you see something happening, please speak up and say something. If you see something that looks unsafe, please feel free and have the authority to speak up and do so.
So that's like the huddle before we start putting anything into action for that day. So you arrived at the job site, you got the JSA done. What do we do next, Mark?
After the daily huddle, the discussion and the open communication of the day's targeted production plan and goals set for the team, we will stretch, we will flex. It's an opportunity for us to work our muscles prior to work startup. Organizationally, we found there to be a strong correlation in stretching ahead of work and a reduction or prevention of soft tissue industries. And it's just another example that demonstrates the insight our organization has in preventative maintenance regarding issues, safety concerns, or bodily task functions that we want to be prepared and prevent any issues or injuries from occurring on all job sites.
I mean, that's a lot of safety. And I know one of the things I've noticed is, just dealing with enclosed air, not enclosed areas, but more tight spaces. Like if you have a 2-lane road and you have utilities above you, you have stuff near you. How do you manage to balance that safety while also remaining efficient, like trying to get the work done?
That's all of being aware of your surroundings. We have operators out there that have been doing this for many years. They can look up, see where the wires are, and they can almost feel that in their joystick before they get there, that they're going to be getting close to that spot. Being aware of your surroundings, like if you're down in a 2-foot wide trench box, AJ, and you got stuff on both sides of you, you got a 12-inch pipe in the middle of your legs, that gives you about 6 inches on either side of that to walk around. You know what I mean? You got to be aware when you're going to lift your head up that there might be a shoring jack above your head. There's a whole bunch of instances that you have to be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Yeah, and to elaborate what Steve had mentioned there, it's our Brothers Keepers culture as well. So, amongst the experience and the knowledge and knowing of your surroundings, it's a well-gelled team and crew, pipe labor, being the eyes and the ears for the excavator operator, great spotter. Again, the collaboration, brothers keeper mentality. It's the culture here instilled at Brubacher. Us, being better together.
So what's the biggest transition that you saw from being in the field every day to now being in the office?
Oh, that's a great question, Chris. One of the differences out from moving from the field into the office would be the fact that some of the work here internally in the office, you don't see, in a sense, a product of completion each and every day. You're moving in a bunch of different areas, supporting the team where the value you feel is to be had. And out in the field, the daily satisfaction could be witnessing 500 or 600 linear foot of install day where you had your hands on it. You
can see it. You can feel it. You can touch it.
Right. When here within the office, what you're creating can sometimes look in space.
Yeah.
Per se, not less tangible.
But it's very important that we spend the time to prepare for the work, foresee roadblocks that our team members might have in the field and help them divert from them. So how does that experience
work? You get the first chance, the first look. I mean, our team is very diverse here with Mark and Steve. I mean, we've each done the work. We've each had our hands on the work, and now each taken on new roles and responsibilities over the years here at Brubacher. So our team gets a first take and a first look. We're integrating a model of the pre-plan. Where's the job to be had? Who are the points of context for the project? When's the project to start? What's the potential risks? What are the opportunities? And just getting an out in front take of the work and the project, and being mindful in the pre-planning for the supervisors, so that way there can be a strong exchange. And I'm talking in a sense more so from the operational side. We do have a look at from an estimating side as well. So we're basically taking a project, we're bidding it on it, we're working it through the project design and the coordination and the communication and putting together the proposal with submission. But we're also then on the side of collecting our award receipt and getting to continue then that project and move it forward on the operational side. So it's relatively in our hands from start to finish through the whole process, which we found to be very helpful in moving the work forward.
Mm-hmm. So once we go from an estimate, we're awarded the job, what's the next step before we start work? The preparation, can we talk a little bit about the behind the scene preparation?
You get all the townships and 811, like the utility owners out there. You talk about the job that you have potentially planned here, go over revisions of what needs to be done, how to make the job actually go before the job actually happens.
That's a long process from the estimating side all the way to the fill and then the paving in such a short time is just, unbelievable. With the experiences that you have, you can see just everything from like a bird's eye view, from a virtual view, being in the trenches, like in those situations. That's a lot, especially with like all the new technology as well. Tell us a little bit more about that part that have made your lives a little bit easier.
Oh no, pipe is pipe, right?
I wouldn't say pipe is pipe. Technologies just that I've seen in the past, when I started here on the vac truck, you get a line locator, it's even just starting with the vac truck. The vac truck had a 4-inch hose, that you had to hold manually. It had a jackhammer on it to get through the concrete or blacktop, and it was ran with air off of an air compressor. Now our vac trucks they have core machines mounted on the front of them. They're running an 8-inch hose that's run by a remote control, and they're jetting out 3,500 PSI of water.
Wow.
So that's one piece of equipment that in 15 years, the new vac truck could almost eat the old vac truck.
Yeah.
Wow.
As far as, GPS and GIS, as far as like data on maps and stuff, utility companies are going out and they're marking each bell with a GPS unit. They're taking it back. They're downloading on their server, and it's going right into their map frame. When I first started supervising, we were drawing a red line on a plan with a ruler with measurements from curb lines or trees or anything that we could find to make a mark off of. So those are two big technology improvements that I've seen in my 15 years.
And the utilities that we're currently replacing, they've seen their lifespan. Like what typically is a lifespan of a water line utility?
I think that really depends. Some towns that you work in, there could be pipe that is over 100 years old. So it varies from town to town and where you're at, really.
So then what classifies it need to be replaced, or it's still operating correctly, or how do they make that decision? Or
I think in a sense of how whoever owns the utility, if they have a lot of main breaks within a certain amount of feet or miles, that they know that this pipe needs to be looked after and replaced instead of just keep band-aiding it back together.
Yeah.
Time after time.
Even a bigger reason for the replacement would be a circa year like 1977, just to give an example, townships having some main breaks, and then another township with the same year might have a similar set of main breaks or failures going on, to where municipal owners or authorities will then treat that year as that main needs to be replaced out with a new system.
Okay.
Based on recognition of failures that are occurring within that specific year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Other times it could just be a level of corrosion or soils, the makeup of the soils, the metals within the soils, the corrosion, the degradation of the life of the pipe is shorter than expected, again, because of the existing conditions of where that main was installed.
Yeah.
And another instance could be related to what Steve had mentioned earlier in regards to straight current, cathodic protection, or their lacking of, which actually starts to eat or burn and deteriorate the life of the existing water system. Dissimilar metals in proximity to one another could cause deterioration faster than what the life expectancy of the material was designed to be.
So there's a vast array of reasons why pipe has to be replaced. I mean, one of the other reasons is the Lead and Galvanized Act, correct? So that's just a mandate. What do we do in those situations for those customers, Steve? We have current customers that have that in their inventory, and then how do we assist them in replacing it?
So we do have two customers that varies between municipality and different water authorities. They all have different regulations and rules that they abide by. They all have want the same outcome, and that is to eliminate lead and galvanized for the homeowner. So for the majority of our clients, we'll go out in front on a project. We will locate and identify the service line on both sides of the curb stop. The curb stop is the valve that's inside the little metal box out in front of your house. That is usually in between the road and the sidewalk, or right around the sidewalk area, for those who don't know that. So we'll come out the back truck, we'll dig a hole down on both sides of the curb stop, we'll verify what the utility owner service material makeup is, and then we'll verify what the homeowner's is. If the homeowner's is found to be lead or galvanized, they will go on the list, and the utility company will reach out to them with a contract stating, they will provide a new service into their home. They give them a test kit as well to test their water to make sure that it is still safe to keep drinking.
Once they identify this,
Once they figure that out.
That it is lead or galvanized, yeah.
Not many people realize all the stuff that's underneath them. I mean, I've heard stories of where people are still using pipes that are made out of wood that are still in service in some areas, which I don't even know how they even thought about doing that back in the day.
Have you guys come across any wood pipes?
Yes, I have in Westchester.
Really?
It was a wooden conduit duct bank.
And it was just how long of a section, or it was just...
It went from block to block, and there was an old wire inside of it. So it wasn't a water main, but it was a duct bank made out of wood.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Were you able to, did anybody keep it, or just, there's no value to it?
No, there was really no saving it. Once you uncovered it, it pretty much fell apart.
Wow.
Wow.
So I had uncovered a wooden water main at a prison that we were putting water to at one point, and that was interesting.
So what was it?
Tell us more about that.
So it basically just had slats all around it with this wire, I guess, that holds it together for each slat, and then it was like tar was smeared all over it. Basically.
On the inside or outside?
The outside of it.
Really?
Wow. And it was still had pressure, and did they not know it was wood?
It was
okay. It was okay.
Yeah, it was abandoned, but I still have it at my house.
Wow, that is so cool.
It is interesting.
What other interesting things have you guys come across? Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's
$500 million in gold.
We weren't supposed to tell them about that.
Yeah, that was
right. That was supposed to be a secret.
I was digging outside of Valley Forge one time on a project, and we're digging, and we're looking down in the trench, and the sun was shining, and all we seen was these little metal objects sparkling back at us. So I hopped down in the trench to see what they were. And as soon as I got into the trench, I realized I just jumped into a trench full of needles and syringes. Along with bottles of morphine. We found that still had morphine in them. So it ended up being an old dump site from the Battle of Valley Forge. So I got out of the trench and looked down at my boots, and I had about 40 to 50 needles sticking out each sides of my boots and underneath.
From the revolution?
From the battle?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened then? You have to call the historical society. They had to verify.
The guy that we were digging in front of his house was a member of the historical society and said he's not surprised. And he helped us find a place to get rid of the material.
Wow.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I have you beat there, Steve.
Yeah.
The closest that I came to something of treasure would be bottles, Coke bottles, some old milk bottles, some colored glass, stained glass, in fly ash areas. And I did find a lucky marble one time. So they would be treasures. In addition to that, I am a geology buff. I do like rocks, so we've come across a variety of different formations, rocks that, breaking, removing, various sizes, specimens. I have quite a collection.
That's kind of neat. I didn't know that about you. What's the most interesting thing you got in that collection?
I do have a piece of calcite. It's stained a little bit of green and white.
So a lot of this, we're talking about actually doing the work, but how does the utilities division build team and culture? Or is it something that just happens every day? Is it it is an ongoing thing.
I know Steve, Mark, myself, we believe in one another. We believe in what each can bring to the team in support of field operations, internal operations. It's an identity in what we carry. We keep it close, and we believe in the Brothers Keeper mindset.
Yeah.
To add to that, I think it's really just who we are. It's we come in every day. We know we have each other's backs. We know we have a team out in the field, a team in the office. We're all there for the same reasons, We want the company to be successful. We want to be successful. We want our families to be successful and be able to grow. It's just who we are.
So looking ahead for this division or for this utilities group, what does the future look like?
We're growing, Chris. We're growing and growing and growing. It's a fast-paced game. We're trying not to fall behind the eight ball, trying to stay out in front with new contracts, new customers, new clients. We're growing.
Yeah. And so that growth is through new people in the industry, training, building culture, letting people have opportunities to grow, right? Because that's a big thing. Some people don't understand if you're stagnant and you don't have opportunities, then that person who's, let's say, a laborer might never get the chance to become that pipe foreman or that next step. So it's imperative for an organization to keep growing, to give that opportunity, in my point of view.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's all hands on deck. I started out as a laborer, moved up through as a general manager. Mark has stepped into a superintendent role. Shawn is this very similar. Started out as a pipe layer, moved up takeoff tech, now project manager estimator. We all continue to grow. Part of my position is business development. When I go out and meet with a new client, that doesn't mean just work for me. That's work for Shawn now, building contracts, executing invoices, and collecting all the data needed. That's Mark now having to supply another crew. That's the first time laborer that's showing up tomorrow saying, hey, what am I doing here? There's opportunity here for you.
For those who are coming in for their first day, those who are eager to join the team, what advice would you give them?
I would say if you're a new hire and want to get hired, Brubacher is a great company to work for. It basically goes to whatever initiative that you would have, you can just grow from that, and no one's going to stop you from going for more. No one's going to stop you to stay stagnant in a one certain position. There's always room for growth as long as you're willing to go for it. So
I think that brings us back to like the 4 core values.
Yeah.
One of them's initiative,
safety, integrity, initiative, and teamwork.
And in all those 4 areas, if you're willing to put in the hard work, you're willing to learn, you're willing to have some initiative, you can grow in this division, in this company as well.
And then along the way, with that initiative mindset, you're going to get a wonderful team to work with. that's going to support you, answer any questions you have. That was the very well noticed on my arrival 17 years ago, and it still exists today. It's refreshing, it's invigorating, and it continues to keep and cultivate a culture of growth, of opportunity.
In the utilities division, we do new water, freshwater installations, we do sewer line replacements, and then we do gas line replacements. So those three industries all fall under the utilities division.
Yes.
So someone could be in the gas line installation part of the utilities division. Others could be in the water line division, and others could be in the sewer line division, or all three at one point of their career as well.
Yes. There's multiple crews that we have that do all three.
We also do storm water replacement as well, storm system replacement too.
So like underground, or we're like storm
Stormwater.
lines, stormwater.
Stormwater.
Any new regulations coming out? Any new technology that's coming out that we should talk about? Any cutting edge stuff?
Well, I heard last year there's a excavator coming out with a bucket coming out for an excavator. I don't recall which one it was, whether Cat or Komatsu, but it had like a radar on the bottom of the bucket that supposedly it detects underground utilities, and it will keep your bucket from hitting them utilities.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's kind of neat. I'm looking forward to that. So I would kind of save
I'm
it.
hoping to see one out at Con Expo if I get the chance to go this year. So
Okay.
We've learned a lot here about just utilities infrastructure, people in the construction industry who are interested in joining a utilities infrastructure team like what we have here at Brubacher. And for those who aren't in the construction industry, hopefully you learned what is underneath you, what powers your homes, how water gets to you. It is a lot more than we thought. And I think it's just amazing what you guys do here. So again, Steve, Mark, and Shawn, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Brubacher and Beyond podcast.
thanks for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Brubacher podcast today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our podcast so you can listen to new episodes every month. Share it with your friends in the industry and those who might like to learn more about the construction industry. Feel free to check us out on our website at www.brubacher.net. We hope you found the discussion insightful, and we look forward to the next time.